Hi everyone,
Oh,
I'm Laura,
I'm Cecilia.
and this is the Yarn Mews podcast. You'll have to excuse our squinty eyes. It's very bright outside when we're facing the window, so
Yes,
I will
so
not be looking outside because I will be going like this.
we're blinded.
So, yeah, blinded by the light.
Yep, or something.
Yeah, or something.
The reflection. It's really reflection off all the snow.
Yeah, it's very snowy here. It's been snowing a lot, and I hear we're supposed to get more on Wednesday.
Yes, we are. And
Yay.
Saturday. So
Have I ever
we're
said that?
going for the snowiest February ever.
Yay! Ever said that I
snow.
grew up in Texas and that this whole snow business is,
Oh, get over it.
It's so pretty the very first snowfall, and then, a few weeks later, it's like, okay, I'm done. And get rid of it.
I love snow.
Yeah, I know, I've heard.
You've lived here for 1 billion years now. You don't get to have an excuse. Okay, you could have moved to Texas at any point.
Except that I married a guy from Minnesota who has no interest in living in Texas. Not that I do
smart.
either, but I wouldn't mind living someplace like, I don't know, Brisbane, Australia.
You would not want to live in Brisbane, Australia.
I do. It's so cool. I love that city when I visited there. Of course, I was only there for a few days.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to live there.
Who
All
knows?
those poisonous snakes and spiders.
Yeah, those huntsman spiders. Yeah, I could live without those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kangaroo getting in your way and,
Emily said, my daughter Emily lived in Australia for 8 months, and she said, Kit said that he had a dream. My son Kit said he had a dream about a kangaroo in our backyard, and Emily said, oh, that would be bad. They're such pests.
They are.
So.
They're a huge pest.
So there you go. I saw a group. I can't remember what a group of them are called now. I used to know.
Gang?
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe. I saw a group of them in, once during our trip. It was like 3/4 of the way through the trip before I even saw one. So.
Yeah.
And then one ran in front of the bus that we were on. That was exciting.
That is always exciting. When things run in front of your bus.
So, why don't you start with what you're working on while I'm casting on a few stitches here.
I'm still working on this sweater. Sorry, let me get my cable out. The Malin.
It's pretty.
It is. It's beautiful. And it is for me. And it will be in the store as soon as I finish it.
Hold that up to the camera again closer so they can see the center panel.
It's got a little cable lace thing going on there. It's very simple. Notice it's just knitting around in a circle, and it's got fake side seams.
Let's see that. Cool.
So you just do
It's just a pearl stitch, yeah.
Yeah, so you have the fake side seam, so you feel like, I don't know what. But it's going along. It's
a lot of knitting, huh?
And it's not very exciting knitting, which is always a problem for me.
Well,
suck it up, Buttercup. Yeah. Give this a pinch. No, it's good. I mean, thankfully, it's got this little lace panel in the front so that I have something to do.
Well, and you're a lot smaller than you used to be.
True that.
So not as much knitting, and you're a wee person, so it's not as much knitting as, say, somebody like me would have to do.
Yes, you would have to make it very long. So, yeah, I'll get it there. It's just a matter of... I love this yarn, though. It's the Kid Classic from Rowan, which is beautiful. And it's lamb's wool and mohair. As I said before, even though it's got that mohair in there, it's very easy to rip out. So, cool. I am happy. How about you?
So, before we talk about what I'm working on, which is just a swatch, let's talk about pilling a little bit.
Okay.
Because you're the fiber expert, and I have some ideas on why things pill. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about that is because I had to get my gleaner out this morning, and I'm sorry, I really should have brought a gleaner over here to show you guys what that is. But this yarn for this little vest that I'm wearing pills like crazy. It's awful. This is a linen and, oh look, there's a pill. Linen and alpaca blend, I think. And this sweater that I just finished, Alanis, is 100% alpaca. And it's got quite a bit of fuzz on it. It's not pilled yet because
It's not worn.
it just came off the needles. And it won't get worn in the shop, so it probably won't pill much in the shop. But I have a feeling it will pill.
Probably.
So talk to us about why things pill.
Pilling is caused when the fibers stick up and then get caught with each other, and they kind of like make out, and they become a little.
They make out. Oh.
They become a little pill.
They kiss.
They kiss, and then they don't separate. Sort of like teenagers. And so, so then you have to get the little, cutting them off kind of thing. But it's the softer the fiber, the more likely it is to have a little bloom. Your sturdier fibers, where they don't have that long floatiness to it, are less likely. So
now doesn't twist have something to do with it too? Like if
would.
the tighter the twist, the less likely it is to
it
pill.
would, because it has that, it's pulling those fibers closer.
Right.
So, but usually a tighter twist also means it's not quite as soft.
Right. And
so
that's
the thing. People come there that want something really soft for a sweater. Well, they don't think about the fact that every time they move their arms, this right here is just going to rub and have all the pills in the world.
Right. So doesn't the length of the fibers have something to do with it too? Like shorter fibers will pill more than longer fibers?
Yeah, because you're twisting them closer. And
it's harder to get the longer ones out of the
Yeah, it's the things
yarn.
poking up that causes it. And so, that'll affect it. But you could have something that's really long fiber and loosely done, and it will pill like crazy.
Loosely spun or loosely plied
even.
So singles are a single strand of yarn rather than plied yarns are going to have two or more strands spun together, twisted together. So singles would pill probably more than plied yarns.
And how tight it's knit factors in.
Sure.
So it's sort of like when if you're going to felt something, it'll tell you to knit it at a looser gauge. That is because it gives it more surface to rub against each other. And so that's the same way. It's that it's rubbing and creating that friction and sealing them together.
Right.
It's just little tiny bits of it.
Yeah. I had a whole handful of little pills that I threw in the trash this morning. Not medicine. Pills for my sweater. Just clarifying in case you didn't know.
Don't take those. That's not how you get your fiber.
Yeah. Anywho.
So this will probably do some pilling action.
Because it's got a lot of halo to it.
Yes, it's very soft and fuzzy. Yeah. But I will just...
Can you hold that up close to the camera at an angle so they can maybe see what halo is?
Can you see the halo?
Do you see all that stuff? I'm putting my hand there to try to block some of the... I don't know.
I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's there. Trust me. But it'll be soft and lovely and warm, and I will wear it with pride.
She will get her gleaner out, which is a tool to use to remove pills that we sell here in the store. I'll throw up a picture for you.
Yep. It's easy as pie, and
it
works
is.
Fabulously.
It's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like washing my garments. It's just such a pain. I mean, it didn't take me more than 10 minutes this morning.
It wouldn't. It just, you go,
I know.
That's all it is.
But
it's like brushing your hair. Or
I don't brush my hair. Are you kidding?
Well, brushing someone else's hair. You used to have children used to brush their hair, surely.
Yeah. Yes, I did. Yes.
So.
Well, I combed it. Yeah, whatever.
It's the same action. Same
difference, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I am working on a new project. I'll put a picture up of it. It's called a Rainbow Romper. I don't remember who it's by. But,
Somebody.
well, here, I could look it up. I have it on my iPad. I don't have... It's going to be a sample for the store, and it's interesting because you can get the 12 to 24 month pattern free on her blog, but you can't get, but if you want to print it off or whatever, you have to pay for it. So, I don't know. It'll be confusing for people, but we'll do our best to make sure you know how to find it. It's called Creativa Atelier. It's a Spanish person, I believe, who designed it, Marta Porcel. And but the pattern's in English, so thank goodness, because otherwise it wouldn't be happening. But it's so freaking cute.
It is cute.
So we're just gonna, and I'm making it out of Blue Sky Fibers organic cotton, skinny organic cotton. They have a worsted weight too, but this is sport weight. So I'm doing my gauge swatch. We'll see how it goes. See if I can get gauge.
That's always exciting.
And if I can't, then I may have to try a different yarn.
Yeah.
Because it's really cute. Or find a different pattern to make with the skinny cotton, which was the plan originally, is that I needed something to make with skinny cotton. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big goal.
Yep.
So, I want to talk about a thing that happened to me. So, my husband and I were staying at a hotel while they ripped out our only bathroom and put it together enough that we can use it. So we're back home now. Yes, it's very nice. But while we were at the hotel, I lost my hat. My very favorite hat in the entire world.
And you will see why in a moment.
It is this one, right here.
Look at that llama on it. Isn't that adorable?
Yes, and so it's, I worked very hard on this, and I was devastated when I could not find it. But luckily, someone turned it in, and it had been missing for like 3 or 4 days. And they're like, oh, they found it in the hallway, which I suspect someone found in the hallway, brought it to their room, and then was like, oh yeah, I got to turn this in. Regardless, it had a weird smell to it, so I washed it. Which I just washed it in the sink with some soak, laid it flat to dry. I didn't pull on it, didn't do anything. I wasn't trying to block it out or anything. But now, it is too big. These fit me perfectly.
Oh, yeah, it did.
And so I don't know what happened. I don't know why.
What's the fiber?
It's 100% wool. And I don't know why. If it's because before, when I had washed it and blocked it, I always put it on the head, my styrofoam head.
Yeah.
And if that meant that it shrunk to it, or that it was so dry.
Well, do you still have your styrofoam head? Can you do it again?
I will probably have to do it again because it's too big. Too big. But it was weird because I didn't pull on it.
Yeah.
And so it was odd to me that it would do that. And then I thought, well, maybe it was so dry in the hotel room that it dried so quickly. It didn't have time for the fibers to shrink up a little.
Interesting.
I don't know, but it was an interesting thing to happen to me because I've never really had to wash any of my woolens in a hotel room.
Yeah.
I just do it at home whenever I get home.
I have to admit, I've done it before at like market, where I wanted to have something that I could wear the next day or in a couple of days. And so I finished it and locked it in the hotel room. Yeah.
However, you'll see it still has this weird little curve I've always had in it. That got me marked down at the fair.
Yeah. It's probably because it's stockinette there, and then it's just the I-cord edging, and maybe it's just not enough.
It's just not enough, yeah. And I will admit, see, the reason I would have made another one of these if I had not found it, but I wasn't looking forward to it because these flaps are color work done flat. I cannot purl with this hand, and I do color work two-handed. And so it took me like 3 nights, entire evenings, like 5-6 hours each, to do just these 2 ear flaps because I'm so bad at doing,
Yeah.
you know, it's like when you read those Rowan patterns and it's like, do all this color work flat. It's like, no, why would you do that? Just
You know, I have
do a steek, people.
I have another pattern that if I didn't start this little romper, I was gonna start it instead. And I will do it at some point, so I'm not gonna even bother showing you the pattern now, but it has garter stitch ridges and then eyelet ridges. And for some reason, she has you do the garter stitch ridges in purl instead of knit. Well, I think because she wants the bump right away after the eyelet rows.
Yeah.
I think. Although why you, I don't know. I'm going to have to look at that. One person on Ravelry did do it
The other way.
with all knit. And I'd have to do swatches and just see what the difference is. But I was thinking if I had to do that, because you know how, I mean, I don't hate purling or anything. It's just I'm much faster knitting. But I don't know if you've ever tried or heard about Portuguese knitting where they carry the yarn around their neck and then they have it run through a little pin of some kind that's attached to your clothing. And then purling is really easy. You just do it with your thumb. It's really fast. So I was thinking maybe I could do that for the purl rows. I'd have to find my pen that I have.
Yeah.
So
I
don't know.
If I'm doing knit and purls, I knit with my thumb anyway, so I don't really have problems purling with this hand.
Yeah.
It's just I cannot get it, and people have shown me, and I've tried to do it, and
it's awkward. I find it awkward.
I just cannot make it happen. So, and then I also discovered I have a couple of holes in it. Just bored through.
Oh.
You know, the spots where it's the little strands have snipped off. You know, so I should probably figure out how to do darning or something, which is a thing. A skill I've never learned.
Hey, I will tell you, Treadle is having a darning class.
I know. I think it's already passed. Though.
Oh, dang.
I saw that and I'm like, oh, I should sign up for that.
I should contact the person who taught that and see if they want to come here and teach it.
It's Elizabeth. She's fabulous. We can get her to come down here. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Because she does do knitting and such. Cool. I took a couple classes with her and she's fabulous. Yes.
Oh, I still want to take some classes over there and I want to get back into my sewing, but I just don't have time right now. Just no time. It's hard to find time sometimes.
Yeah, it's true.
Especially when I've been trying to get the shop hop pattern done and stuff like that. Shop hop's coming up. It's just a month and a half away. April 4th through 7th.
Just around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's exciting. And then I'm doing my third prototype of the pattern right now, and it should be, I was hoping to have it done this weekend because the sample yarn should come in the next day or two, but it's not going to be ready yet. But I got I spent the whole day doing the 2 charts on Saturday here at work. Well, probably 5 hours.
Yeah.
Doing those charts. It's crazy. Because apparently what I wrote for the decrease charts didn't make any sense. So I had to just chart it out. Now I have to get to the top of the hat and see if it will actually work.
Yeah. That is one of the things with, you know, when you're designing something, that whole thing of, well, you think, well, this should work, and then you like do it, it's like, no. Or I always like to chart it out and then like wait a little bit and then go back to it like it's fresh, like I've never seen it before. Right. And then try and do it myself, and then I'll be like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I'll have somebody else test knit it here. So, yeah. You know, people wonder why it's expensive to buy patterns on Ravelry. Well, you know what? I've spent, if you think about the 2 prototypes that I've already knit, and the third one I will have knit, that's probably, well, let's see, this weekend I probably worked 4 hours on the prototype. And I'm about halfway done. So let's say 8 hours per prototype knitting it.
Yeah.
So that's 24 hours. plus another, we're going to say at least 5 hours to write the pattern and the charts. So that's 29 hours. Let's round it up to 30. It doesn't seem bad. And then I'm going to have somebody test knit it. So that's another, 8 hours. 38 hours.
Probably longer than that because you knit faster than any of the rest of us.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to round it up again. 40 hours.
Yeah.
40 hours. Let's say, I don't want to undervalue my time, but let's just say I'm going to get $12 per hour for my time. 40 times 12 is $480. So charging $5 a pattern doesn't seem outrageous.
No. And you'd still have to sell a lot of them to actually get your money back.
Absolutely. And, that's why people charge money for their patterns. It's, you can get free patterns. This pattern that I'm about to do is a free pattern. Although, if you want to be able to print a copy, you have to, or want different sizes, you'll have to pay for it. But, some people make a living doing this. And like Stephen West, Andrea Mallory, Martina Bim, there are a ton of people out there that make a living, or at least a partial living doing this. So it's important to support these people and pay them what they're asking for their patterns rather than, borrowing the pattern from somebody else, which is really a copyright violation.
Stealing.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It is. Because they put a lot of time and effort into this. And
well, it's just like if you have a job, it's a week's work.
Yeah.
It's as if your boss said, well, this week you can just work for free because, you should just want to.
Yeah.
Which, who wants to do that?
We don't have, there are technical editors out there. We don't use technical editors here at the store, although I've thought about it for our patterns because I hate getting emails from people saying that this doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
But I do have somebody test knit it, and they're supposed to be looking for errors in the pattern as well. But, if you have to pay a technical editor to do the tech editing as well, and I guarantee you, Stephen West, Andrea Mallory, Martina Bim, those guys are all using tech editors.
Yeah.
It's just, it gets to be expensive.
Yep. It gets to be a lot of money.
There you go. Off my soapbox.
It's okay. It's important for people to understand what goes into it.
Yeah,
because unless
absolutely.
you're actually doing it, it seems like, oh, there's so many patterns out there. They're just like manna from heaven. But
well, and I tell you what, I don't do any sweater patterns. Haven't designed any sweaters. And you got a lot more stuff going on in sweater patterns because you got grading, which is determining the number of stitches and it decreases, all that kind of stuff for different sizes. That's a lot more work.
That is a lot more work.
Yeah.
I have designed kid sweaters, but they were not for sale. They were for my granddaughter, and
right. So you only had to do one
this size, and
right.
And for the one I did, I actually did write up some bigger sizes, mainly because. But then again, it was color work. It was a yoke sweater, so that was gonna dictate the bigger sizes. But it was still been for kids, not for adults, because adults don't know what size they are. They think they know, but they don't necessarily, or they don't tell themselves the truth about what size they are. And then when their sweaters don't fit, it's the fault of everybody else. It's just, not everybody, but there's a lot of people, like I'll read on Ravelry, and it's like, well, where did you did it? Did you do the gauge swatch? Did you wash it? Did you do all the steps before you said this design sucks? Because it's just like going to a store. One time, Serena and I were in this kid's store because she was still a kid, and there were these ladies in there who were like 40, and they were trying on kids' clothes because they were little, but they didn't look right in them because they were kids' clothes,
Right.
you know, and they were still grown women. And I just looked at her and I said, the thing I want you to always remember is just because you can fit in it doesn't mean you should wear it. And so sometimes, you know, a certain sweater or whatever that you really like isn't actually going to look good on you.
Right.
You know, you have to kind of know this is a look I can get away with, or this is not a look I can get away with.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's all about personal style too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to rock kids' clothes and you're okay with the look and that's the style you want to go for it. You know, but you got to be okay with what you're wearing.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion.
I'm pretty sure they were just there because they were on clearance and they did not look good in them, but whatever, I guess so. Because they were boys' pants.
Yeah.
And
they had hips, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, oddly enough, it looked bizarre. And because, you know, it's Shane and I were discussing this just last week about she was trying on clothes and the thing, you know, the pants she was trying on, they didn't have them in the petite, so she, you know, went to a regular that was like an ankle cut. She was like, it's fine, but it doesn't look quite right because what people don't understand is that being short, just hemming it doesn't solve the problem because everything has a shape.
Yes, well, and the rise from your waistline, if you measure from your waistline under your crotch to the waistline at the back, it's going to be a lot shorter for a short person than it is for a
tall person.
Well, tall people have the same issue. I mean,
or like just the average size,
right.
whatever that is, because I don't know. But I do know that finding pants and shirts are very bad because if you can't find a petite cut, say button down, dude, it never hits right, and so the buttons don't.
Yeah.
You know, they don't hit right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so then your buttons aren't staying buttoned because the buttons that are there are supposed to be up here.
Yeah.
You know, at a smaller spot.
Right.
So yeah, it's that sort of thing. It's hard.
Yeah.
If I had talents, I would sew my own clothes. But
you do have talents. You've sewn some of your own clothes before.
Yeah.
It's more of a time thing, don't you think?
No,
I mean, I'd
find
like to take
sewing very stressful.
Yeah. I'd like to take some classes on fitting and sewing.
Yeah.
How to adjust patterns to fit properly.
Yeah.
Because just like ready-to-wear clothing, those patterns are made to a certain model.
A model from like 1967.
Yeah. Well, unless you're sewing like Marcy Tilton.
Yeah.
Who's added inches into her sizing, and so everything I make of hers, it's too big because you know, one of the great things about knitting and crochet patterns are schematics. And they don't have those in sewing patterns. Now, could you lay your sewing pattern flat and measure it? Yes, and it would be the same thing, but it'd be really nice if they had on the back of the envelope a schematic.
Just saying this is this and this is this.
Right.
And, yeah.
I mean, they've got the picture already because
they all have them there.
Yeah, they have a picture of the layout, basically, so it'd be so easy to add, you know, the inches on there, but they don't. Anywho, I would still like to take a class on how to adjust sewing patterns.
Yeah.
I think any of that tailoring kind of stuff would be helpful, and knitting patterns as well, garment patterns. So
I agree. I will say the thing with the knitting is I can always just rip it out and do it again. So, you know, I don't.
Yes, once you cut that fabric,
it's gone. That's it. Unless you're gonna get, you know, a lot smaller.
I have been known to buy cheap fabric to try a pattern out.
Yeah.
Thinking that I would later go back and redo it, which I haven't ever done, but I have bought the cheap fabric.
In theory, that's what you would do. Yeah.
But I kind of agree with you. You know, knitting is very relaxing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Sewing is, lot more tension provoking.
Yeah.
You know, I think if I did it more regularly, that it probably wouldn't be. I mean, you can finish a garment much faster than
Yes.
sewing than you can knitting. But what I find is that it's just, you know, setting in the sleeves and stuff like that. That gets to be, it just makes me tense.
Yeah.
And it
very
takes
stressful.
longer than I think it's gonna, and then I run out of time. I think I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna devote a day to finishing this duster,
Yeah.
and it never ends up getting finished. And then it sits there for a long time because I don't have another day to devote to it for several months. That's what's happened right now. I have a duster that's, you know,
Yes.
the shoulder seams are done, the sleeves are set in,
I've been hearing about the duster
Yeah.
for a long time.
but the side seams aren't done, the hem isn't done, the sleeve hems aren't done, the buttons aren't put in. I mean, there's so much more to do to it, and it's just,
Yeah.
if I had just gotten it done that one day.
Yep. That's the problem.
Yep.
So, speaking of, you know, spending time on stuff. Smooth segue. We got events coming up, and I'm going to
Oh
talk
my gosh,
about
you got
one of
so
them.
many events coming up.
We have our friends from June Cashmere. This is some of their yarn. I show this because these are actually colors I own that I'm going to make a shawl out of. It's very spicy.
It is spicy.
I like it.
Spicy.
On Monday, March 11th at 6 p.m. and then again on Tuesday, March 12th at 10:30 p.m.
Oh, AM. That
That's
should say
AM, yeah.
Yes.
Jeez, I
We don't
missed
have any
that.
pens out here.
All right, well, we'll fix
We'll
that.
figure that out.
We have Amy from June Cashmere coming to visit us, and then she's going to talk about what they do. This yarn is made in, make sure I say it right, Kyrgyzstan, by shepherds there. Well, the yarn's not made there yet. The yarn, it's a long story. She'll go into it.
Yeah.
The sheep, the goats are there from
Yes.
cashmere goats. It's 100% cashmere. It's a free trade type of thing. So the shepherds get paid an actual living wage for this. So it's kind of like when you go get your free trade coffee. It's like that. You're supporting small little family farms. And so it's a really good thing. And the UPS guy is here. So apparently I need to go and get
No,
that.
wait, you talk. I'll go get him.
Okay. All right, Laura's going to take care of it. Anyway, so she's going to come in and talk about what they do and everything. And that, you know, there'll be a little presentation of, you know, probably pictures of shepherds and stuff. And it's limited space, so we need you to register. So you probably just call up and you know, say, hey, write me down for Monday at 6 or Tuesday at 10:30. And if you buy any yarn during the event, because Amy's also bringing more yarn with her, so she's going to bring a lot more of the DK, and then she's going to bring some of the lace. So we don't carry the lace normally, so if you are a lace knitter, this is your chance to come and get some beautiful cashmere lace. Here's a few examples of some of their patterns. So if you buy any yarn, any of the June Cashmere yarn, you'll get a free download for a pattern that you can use to knit your yarn. Here's something that's actually made out of their lace yarn. That's apparently been very popular. And then if you purchase 3 or more skeins, you're going to get a tote bag from June Cashmere. So there will be fabulous things to be had and lots of great patterns. They have a lot of great pattern support. The thing I'm making is actually not in this, but it is a little striped shawl thing. And then afterwards, to be announced, probably not in April, maybe in May, we'll have a knit along where everyone can bring in their patterns and their yarn and
I don't know,
knit.
maybe in April.
Maybe in April.
I
We'll
don't know
see.
yet.
We haven't not yet
Figured
decided.
out the dates on that.
But yeah, we'll be doing a little knit along, just whatever you choose to do. So if it's a hat, great. If it's a sweater, great. Whatever. I love this vest. That takes like 5 or 6 skeins, so but it would be fabulous.
I love that poncho. Now, back one page.
This one?
Yeah. Now that's out of the lace
I
weight.
pointed that to them.
Yeah.
That is the
I
lace
like
weight.
that one.
That's a lot of knitting.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
It is very pretty. All their patterns I think are very pretty. They got, Romy Hill and Oregon, and so, they're real patterns.
By real designers.
Right, real designers.
Who deserve to be paid for their patterns.
That's
just
right.
Saying.
Just saying. But anyway, I hope you'll join us for this. We're very excited she's coming to see us. And it's going to be a blast.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have coming up? We have our Cloud9 knitting retreat is coming up.
Yep.
That just got publicized last week.
People have been signing up.
Yep.
So.
It's June 28th through 30th. There's the flyer. Kate Atherley and Keith Leonard are coming to teach 4 classes each, and Kate is doing a keynote presentation on Friday evening at our opening reception. Kate is the technical editor for Knitty.com. If you've never looked at Knitty.com, you should go there. They have great patterns. It's
Fabulous patterns.
E-magazine, one of the original knitting e-zines. And they've been around for years, and Kate's their technical editor. She's taught many classes over the years. Cecilia took a class from her.
I actually
that
took
she's
one
actually
class.
going to
the two-in-one sock. That's also called the War and Peace sock, and it's one sock inside the other on one set of needles. So
very cool.
It is awesome. And when I took the class, there was a woman in there, and she's like, "Yep, I'm going to use this technique to make some sleeves." And Kate's like, "You let me know how that goes, because that's a lot of work on, But I found it a great method. I just thought it was genius. And she is an absolutely fabulous teacher. So nice and very patient and all the things that you need to be a good teacher, And I don't know about Keith. I'm sure he's lovely too. I've not ever had any classes with him.
Keith is he owns a company called Knits All Done, which is a professional finishing service for knitwear. We have a person here in the store who finishes sweaters for us, but if we didn't, we might hire his company to do the finishing for our customers. So he's going to teach a couple of classes on finishing, and one on fixing mistakes, and then a 4th one on brioche. And he teaches at Vogue Knitting Live all the time. He was at the show that was here in November, and I've heard really good things about his teaching style, so there you go. And on Saturday night at the retreat, so the retreat's here in town, it's at the Hyatt,
which is a
Regency,
fabulous venue.
Yeah, it's a really fairly new hotel. I think it's been around for 3 years, so everything's nice and clean, and the people that work there are great, and the space that we've had is really nice as well. And so it starts on Friday evening with the reception, and then 2 classes each Saturday and Sunday. Lunches are included. And then on Saturday evening, we're going to have a knit-in. So you it's basically just bring your knitting, show up, have fun. We might have some games. We might have some prizes. I don't know.
Who knows what we'll do?
Yeah. We'll also have a marketplace there with at least a booth from 3 Kittens. Haven't really decided yet about booths from other vendors yet. We had a few booths last year with other vendors. And it was, there just weren't very many people who came in. And I don't want to waste anybody's time by having them show up and have a booth there. Now, since it's the second year, maybe there will be more people who come. Maybe there will be people, the public. I tried to let people know that they could come to the marketplace, whether they were doing the retreat or not. But I don't know that the word got out enough.
Yeah, there was like just a couple people.
Yeah, just a couple of people who showed up. So I just don't really want to waste time with the vendors. I don't want to waste the vendors' time.
Yeah.
If they're not going to get some traction and get some sales from being there. So,
But Keith Leonard
has he brings in yarn from Israel called Soul Wool, and he's going to be bringing some of his yarns for that for a trunk show. He also does some Zen Yarn Garden yarns in special colors, but I don't know if he's bringing that. We need to talk to him about what he's going to bring.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, we'll have our booth there and we'll have his special yarns. But I'm still, I've had a couple of vendors contact me about whether we're going to do booths, and I just have to decide.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure that all out. But anyway, it's time to register. You can register online on our website, www.3kittensneedlearts.com, or you can give us a call. We have brochures here in the store if you want to pick one up and look at it. If you're not local and you want information, you can drop me an email or say something in the YouTube comments, and I will make sure you get some information.
Yeah.
So that's about it on that.
I'm very excited. I really like our
Me too.
retreat.
Yeah, me too. It was fun last year.
Yeah, it was.
We'll have a
really
good time
good
again
time.
this year. And then also, just as a reminder, we have Fana Goberstein coming to teach 2 classes April 26th, which is a Friday. She'll be teaching 2 slip stitch classes. One's reversible slip stitches and one is Beyond Mosaic. That's the day before the Minnesota Knitters Guild Yarn Over, so we're lucky to have her come.
Yes.
What other things do we have going on? I think we covered all the
that's
events.
everything.
I mean,
So
there are a
much
lot
is
of
coming
events in the
up.
next 2 months, so
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Also, I wanted to say that Lee Black, aka Leslie, won our podcast
Yay.
prize for last podcast, and it's a bunch of mini skeins.
Yay!
Let's
mini
see, there's
skeins.
6 mini skeins in some purpley colors,
Love purpley colors. They're the best.
and a bag by Barocco. So Lee, you can pick Lee/Leslie. You can pick those up anytime. And then this next time, we're going to be giving away some lovely stuff from Skacel Knitting, which is one of our wholesale distributors. So we've got a beautiful skein of alpaca lace light from Haiku.
It's beautiful.
We have a skein of Simply Air, which is alpaca and nylon, also from Haiku.
Nice. That'd make a nice little, like, fuzzy band on a hat.
Yeah, well, this has actually got 220 yards on it, so it's a lot more yardage than you would think. So
But it would still make a nice...
it would still make a nice fuzzy band, but it could be used for something else too. And a needle gauge from Addie. Well, actually, it's from Skacel Knitting. Never mind. And then
That bag's
nice little
fabulous.
bag.
Little messenger bag type of thing. Whatever
So
they call
everything will be inside the bag, and I don't have any idea what to ask you guys to comment on. I will say that we get the same few people commenting every time. We will just continue to give prizes to those same few people unless some other people comment.
them. That's right.
So you can say anything. You could say,
Yeah.
love your podcast. You could say, hate your podcast. I wish you would do this.
Yes.
I don't care. Just say
Whatever.
something.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the new magazine?
Oh, sure. You want to do that?
Sure, I can discuss it a little bit. So, the Lane magazine just came in.
Woohoo.
It's always a big to-do. We just have a few copies left. It is always beautiful. They have really nice photographs.
They do. I like their photographs.
Um,
And some really cute patterns, I think, in this.
yeah, this one has
this
a lot of
episode.
really nice patterns. I'm trying to find, like,
Oh, that's
look
cute.
at this darling vest. I love this vest. It has just that little bit of, detail in the back with a little bit of
Yeah.
cabling, and then the rest just
It
like
looks like a
moss
seed
stitch.
stitch or something.
I
Yeah.
think it's moss stitch. That's what I think.
That's cute.
The double seed. And there was a pattern, a recipe in here that looked really tasty too. I mean, not that I would make it
Because you don't cook.
Yeah, that's true. I don't cook.
I wouldn't make it either, so there you go.
Here, doesn't this look tasty though?
What's it called?
It is called something tasty. Chocolate plum cake.
Yeah.
Seems
not eating sugar, so not
seems
having it.
very English, but
Yes.
yeah, I wouldn't make it either. Cause
What is that, though? That looks kind of good, whatever this is.
that I believe is the creamy salmon soup.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That does sound good. And then we got sage ginger Collins, which is a drink, which looks very easy to make, so you could drink that. Do you like gin? I don't like gin. Charles likes it. And then root crisps,
Ooh,
which
that looks good too.
yeah, which are just like little chips made out of potatoes, parsnips, carrots, and beetroots. Oh, I love beet chips. I love beets. They're one of my all-time favorite things. And then there's a little article about London and where to stay, and books that you should be checking out. Oh, this Japanese knitting stitch Bible. I want that book.
I think I just ordered another one of those.
Did
for the
you?
store. No.
No.
There were 2 Japanese
You
books
got
that came
this
out last year.
Japanese Stitches Unraveled.
Yeah,
I
I
bet.
think I did.
And that's not the one
But
I want.
you just have to give me a
I know.
special order, and I will order that for you.
I know you will.
So.
It's just a matter of me having to write all those words down, like my
Oh
name,
my gosh,
my phone
so
number.
hard.
I like this sweater too. This color work sweater. Not a shock because
Oh no, that's cute.
very traditional color work there.
Yeah.
And then on the inside they've got the little fabulous detail of the ribbon.
I like her hair.
Yeah,
Kind of reminds me of my hair.
kinda. Anyway, it's a really good issue. I actually am thinking I might need to have one. I've never actually bought a Lane magazine before.
Well, you better get on it, girl, because
I know.
we'll sell out of those. We always sell out, so
Probably get it.
it just came
tomorrow.
out Friday,
Yeah,
so I don't know how many copies we have left, maybe 5 or 6.
yeah.
So
One of them's gonna be mine. Sorry.
mine, oh mine. So I didn't really talk much about this sweater. Do I need to talk more about it? It's so cute. You know
is
what? I
cute.
really like this pattern. This is
It's a fabulous
Alanis
pattern.
by Elizabeth Smith, who also goes by the Brown Stitch. That's her company name.
It's sort of like the brown note.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
The brown note is a supposed note that will make you poop your pants.
What kind of note? A musical note?
Just a
written
sound,
note? Oh,
a note, yeah,
Huh.
like a sound.
never heard of that before.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
that
learn
it's
something
true.
new every day.
But
Kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to even go into that.
don't even
Yeah,
start.
don't even
It's
start
just
down that
trouble.
path. Yeah.
We're nothing but trouble here on this podcast.
Well, you know, I do have 20-something-year-old kids, and they create a lot of issues, let's just say.
They do.
Anyway, it was fun to knit. It was easy. I liked the way she did the bind-offs for the neck. She did them a little differently, and
I think it's really cute.
Yeah.
And I love it in this yarn.
I do too. The yarn is nice to work with.
I love
It's
your
very
little,
soft.
your little pocket.
Yeah, I do too. I knew that had to be the right color. I
Yeah.
mean, I just knew that color was going to be
It's,
good for it.
Yep.
I'm tempted. I mean, this is a small, so it's not going to fit me, but I'm tempted to make one for myself.
You should.
I don't know that I'd make it out of this yarn, just because I don't wear a lot of variegateds, and this is variegated. But I could see
It's
making.
very subtle.
You know,
variegation.
I have to say, my favorite yarn right now is Blue Sky Fibers wool stock.
I love
Favorite
wool stock.
yarn. And I
It's
think this would be
awesome.
really cute in wool stock.
Everything's cute in wool
I know.
stock.
I agree. I mean, I have another sweater that I want to make out of wool stock, and yeah.
You know what? I think I'd love it in this because I love alpaca. But it would also be really nice in that Cumbria.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Cumbria croft. And then if we got some of those solids.
Cumbria, what? You
Yes.
said you just combined
Croft.
two.
Oh, so I'm sorry,
Okay,
it's the Croft
not
Shetland.
not in Cumbria, Croft.
Croft.
The West Yorkshire Spinners.
Yeah, I don't know why.
The Croft,
I can't knit
Shetland,
with Cumbria. I think
Tweed
it's because
or
it's
something
from
like
the
that.
same area.
Yeah,
Is my
okay.
problem. Yeah, and then if we got the solids, then I could have that little solid pocket in there
Yeah.
because I would totally copy on that.
Well, that wasn't my idea necessarily. That's
Yeah.
her version on Ravelry had a contrasting color pocket. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get the solids because we have something similar that's the same weight, and
Is it made with merino?
I don't remember what it is right now. So,
Because if it is, then no, it's not the same. FYI.
oh my god, I cannot carry everything here in the store. I just can't. I think we've had this conversation before.
Occasionally we have it. I just think we should carry less merino.
Yes, I know how you feel. Yeah.
Just saying.
I know. What, you don't have something in your stash that you could use for
Oh,
the
please, yes. I
contrast
do.
pocket?
have
I mean,
so
this came from
much-
my stash. This
I have so much yarn. It's
I
not
didn't even write.
funny.
I didn't even write on the tag what this yarn was. I suppose I should probably do that.
Probably give an indication of what they could use.
Yeah.
But they could use anything.
They really could. They could use the same yarn. There's plenty of yarn on that hank to make the pocket out of.
Just make it the same.
Yeah, the same. I just thought it was cute with the contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have anything else?
I don't think so.
Aggravate people with?
What did you just say?
Aggravate people with.
Oh, I thought you said no,
Don't
something
even?
about finger. So I didn't know what she was talking
are
about.
you talking about?
I don't know. I didn't know what you were talking about.
So we've been looking at restaurants to go to for my birthday because next week I will be 50. I'll be old.
My husband on the same day will be, wait a minute, let's see, he was born in 61, so 58.
58. Her and
I'm not taking him to dinner.
I get to go to dinner because it's my 50th. And
Maybe I will. I don't know.
the one place, it was like some sort of like truffle flavored fingerling. Well, potatoes is what, but they didn't have the word potato. And then of course, immediately I thought, yarn? Fingering yarn? I was like, no,
I did the same thing because you know what? We have people who come in here and want fingerling yarn.
Yeah, we
And
have
we're like, yeah, we don't have any yarn made out of potatoes. I mean, we would never say that to people, but that's what our brains are doing.
Yep.
So my husband sent me to the store yesterday to get dinner ingredients, and he wanted fingering potatoes, and immediately I thought of yarn as well. I mean, people are training us to think of the wrong things here. Funny.
So, but yeah,
So where are you going? Do you know?
I believe we're gonna go to the Kenwood. We'll see.
Nice.
They don't take reservations, so
Yeah. I mean, my husband really likes Meritage. The problem with Meritage is that it's so noisy.
yeah.
They have those, kind of like in here, really high ceilings, no sound dampening. And so it gets really loud when you've got, silverware
Yeah.
and
Everything.
waiters and,
People.
talking. And yeah, it just
Yeah.
gets really loud in there.
Yeah, I've never been there, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
A nice quiet place is Murray's Steakhouse.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we should see if there's a hockey game that night. I'm sure the tickets are really inexpensive right now. Although we have season tickets, so they're the same price no matter whether they're winning or losing.
Losing. Always losing.
Badly.
Yeah.
They're hanging on to their playoff spot by a thread. So, anywho. Well, I guess we don't need to talk about hockey,
Probably.
even though
not.
I like it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's it for today.
I think so.
Thanks so much for
Thanks
joining
for-
us
yeah.
once again.
Thanks
and
for
listening to
watching.
us ramble
Yes.
and, talk about weird stuff. Fingerling potatoes and yeah.
Yeah. We do like finger. Oh, I like all potatoes.
I know. She's a potato fan.
I love
Me, not
potatoes.
so much.
Mhm.
Although I didn't eat my fingerling potatoes last night. Anyhow,
Were they delicious?
they were okay.
Ugh.
Could have lived without them. Yeah.
Don't know how you can live without potatoes.
Oh,
All right.
we have nothing else to say. I'm not going to do another segue into some other conversation piece, so
So we really are going to go now.
we're really going to stop talking right now.
Right now. Bye.
Bye.
Be seeing you.